Please give a warm welcome to Jonathan Meyers. Louder, come on.
It's 2013. My internet marketing company that I built from scratch had collapsed. My girlfriend had just left, and everything that felt very stable was completely gone. And I was unmoored and didn't know really what to do. And right around that time, I just heard about a dating app called Tinder. And I mean, it's funny now because we have a bunch of apps going around, but does anybody remember or was around when it first appeared? Because there wasn't anything before that. There was maybe Match.com and some other things with profiles, but Tinder was probably the most honest of all of them because it gave you only the information that you had if you met someone in person. Like I said, what you look like and where your location is. Right? And so it was exciting all of a sudden. And I started talking to somebody. And in that instant, does anybody remember the first time, because this was 2013, the first time you had a text conversation with someone that was romantic? Like, and you got excited by, like, I just sent her an image. And she sent me back a song. And it was so emotional, and I felt like, oh, I was actually being seen. But then very quickly, my heart was broken because it turned out that she lives in New York, and the only reason she was matched in location was because she was at LAX, and she was on her way back, right? So it was very quick, but she confessed the day later and said to me, okay, here's the deal. I go back and forth a lot. On Friday, I'm gonna be in San Francisco, at the Peninsula Hotel. Why don't you drive up and meet me if that's not too crazy? And I said, hell yeah, right? Okay, are you kidding me? So, okay, so I said hell yeah for a number of reasons. One, because I love road trips to San Francisco. Because San Francisco, I'm from New York, so the first moment that I set foot there, it felt like home automatically. And two, because I have ADHD, so I can't plan any kind of vacation. I don't know what that's like. So the idea of like jumping in my car and going somewhere is perfect for me. So what I did was I got in my car and I threw in some clothes and the two things that I needed, and one of them was to make sure that I had a copy of Abbey Road, and I had a water bottle, a clean canteen thermos that was given to me by my father that I nicknamed Rusty, right? And it was very important because it was the first gift that he'd ever given me as a couple. He gave one to my ex and one to me. And so it had a lot of meaning. And over the last year or two before, leading up to this, with all these troubles, the only person or thing that I really could count on was Rusty. I learned to finally hydrate and drink water. And I cannot tell you, no matter what emotional experience you're going through, like 28 ounces of Rusty, and all of a sudden I could see clearly, I could think, I could handle. So he was the only thing that I could really hold on to for stability, right? So I get in my car and I'm ready to go like up the 5, and it's so awesome. And people drive up to San Francisco on the 5, like in the summertime when it's fucking like 100 degrees and it's nasty and it's dirty. But then you know when you hit like the 580, I think it is, all of a sudden you see that monolith and you know that in like half an hour the temperature's gonna drop like 40 degrees. And it's gonna be awesome. So I'm in my car and I'm playing Abbey Road, which is it has a lot of meaning for me ever since I was a kid. And I stole my dad's copy and I listened to it and I put my hand in the sleeve and I pulled out the original review from the New York Times where they trashed the shit out of this album. Like seriously, they gotten so accepting of the Beatles, so that they talked about the first side as being frivolous and a bunch of throwaway stuff, and that John's voice sounded terrible on Oh Darling, and I'm like, yeah, because it's fucking Paul. And seriously. And like, what's this children's song that they have in the middle? I'm like, how dare you? And so I'm sitting there, right, and I'm just drinking water, and I filled Rusty up with ice because I know that like as soon as we get on the road, it's so hot that if I just keep drinking, by the time I'm done, it's gonna be beautiful cold water. And so we get up over the grapevine, and the music's playing, and it's a symbol of like of freedom, and all the decisions or the structure that I had before was kind of gone, and I really didn't know. So I was like, let's go off on this adventure, and I'm heading up past the cows, and the Beatles are playing, and I'm just drinking, and I just pound the water, and I'm done. And I start to see the beginning of the 580, and I hear that song coming on, and I'm so excited, and I start to think, well, yeah, I kind of got to go to the bathroom a little bit. But everybody have that thing where you just think, oh, I'll get one more exit. I'll just do one more, and I just kept going, and then that song came on, and I was just full of myself, and I was thinking, okay, no, I'm too good. I'm so excited to go and meet this person, and then I realized, oh shit, I gotta pee. I gotta get off. So I'll get off the next exit, but then I see that I just passed the last exit before the Golden Gate Bridge, right? And I made a point of leaving like at 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning so I could beat the rush hour here. But what was happening was that I was hitting the rush hour there, right? So literally, as I realized, oh shit, I'm going to have to hold this until I get off the Golden Gate Bridge, the car just slows to a stop because all the traffic is stuck. So I'm sitting there, and literally my bladder is like full, and all these cars are around me, and I don't know how much I can keep this in. I'm like, okay, maybe I can just adjust myself a little bit, and I start to maybe unbuckle my belt, and like nothing's working, and we're not moving at all, and it's very clear to me that I gotta pee. So like, what are the options here? Like, I don't know what they are. I need some kind of container, and then I look over and I see Rusty. And I look at him, right? And I can feel he's like looking at me too. Like he's looking at me like, what? What? And I'm like, dude. I was like, no. I'm like, dude. He's like, no. I was like, dude, I got no other option. He's like, no, I'm for water. And he's like, come on, man. It's like, it's not a big deal. You got a big wide mouth. And so I grab it, right? And I open up the cap and I toss it off, and I can hear him like, no, your father gave me to you, right? And so I proceed to like open up my pants, and I start to open up, and then I realize that my pants are open and everybody's around me, right? But I'm focused, and it's like there's nothing I can really do about it. So I attempt to try to anybody ever pee in a bottle in a car? Whoa. He's not a ringer. That's a real deal. Okay, so back me up then with facts. You're not in the right position necessarily to pee. Okay, that we're kind of stuck here in a cramp, right? So I'm moving, and I'm trying to, and I realize it in the moment. It's not like a movie, and I'm trying to get like my head in, and I realize at that moment I can feel like there's two guys right next to me in like a Mercedes 350 SL convertible, and I just see a corner of my eye. I see them looking over like, what do we got over here? So, but there's nothing I can do about it, and I figure, what, it's fucking San Francisco. They just think I'm getting ready for a fetish party or something like that, right? So I'm trying to get the head of my cock, my bellant, right? Is that what it is? Like in the fucking bottle, right? And I'm getting in there, and thank God it's a wide. It doesn't have to be that wide, but still. And I'm like, I push it in, and then I'm still cramped up, and I just let go a little bit, and there's like a spray, and I'm like, oh great. Good, now I'm covered in piss, but it's golden hour. So everything looks fantastic. Right? In the rom-com, like with Jason Sudeikis, like the sun is glistening off his thenar gland with his covered in urine, and I finally get it in there, and I'm like, God damn it, and I'm just like, go, come on, oh, and it starts to flow. And I'm like, yes, oh God. And I'm making this sound. Yes. And the guys are looking over and they're just cracking up, right? But I'm like, oh, thank God. Yes. All going through all this, it's gonna be okay. And right as I'm thinking about this, I'm feeling the level of liquid build up in the bottle, and it's starting to pass my finger. And I'm thinking, holy shit, I have more than 28 ounces inside of me. I'm like, no. I went through the whole process of deciding I was going to take my pants off in my car and then decide I'm going to piss in the bottle in a gift from my dad. And now I got this. Now I'm going to overflow. And my pants, I'm just going to be covered in piss. And that's the right way to show up at the Peninsula Hotel. Where I'm like, hi, right? I'm like, I need a diaper. And so I'm just like, please. So I'm like stutter pissing. I'm like, oh, God. Yes, I just made it over that last ridge, right? And I breathe easy, and I grab the cap, and I put it over there. And I put my hand on this bottle, and the traffic's like starting to move now. And the bottle's warm, so it's just disgusting. And so I just toss it on the passenger floor, and I'm relieved, and I make my pants up, and I look over at the guys, but they're gone already. And as I'm going over the bridge, I look over, and I see, like, Rusty's looking at me. And I'm like, what, man? What? He's like, hey, let's go to that fetish party, man. And I'm like, there's no party. It's like, come on, don't hold out on me, man. I'm a different Rusty now. And I'm like, no, there's no party. We're going. He's like, and he rolls over into the corner, like all indignant and shit, right? So I pull the car over to stop just to get the bottle to come back. I'm like, who's your daddy?